So, a very good evening, everyone. Today we have our guest, Rajesh Swaminathan sir, with us to start this discussion driven podcast in a manner that how a hero or how a senior industry person turned himself as a great HR global leader today. We're going to discuss further on this, and also we are going to dive deeper into his mindset, how his thoughts work, how he see a certain thing in a way that nobody else is doing in this particular field. So let's start. Thank you so much for joining, sir, today. So I just want you to give a brief about who you are, irrespective of your achievements, your educational background, your abstract things in life, who you are as a human.
Yeah, thanks, Priya. First of all, for having me for this podcast. I think every opportunity is an opportunity by itself. It is considered new. It is a fresh start, and today we are in 2026, and may this year bring many such opportunities for us as a team. And we grow together, and we make sure we keep our ecosystem always happy. And the whole idea of doing all these things is to make sure somebody learns, they grow, we grow, and it's all mutual growth. That's how we go. And let's go towards the progressive stage than being on the stagnant stage. So that is when our growth is measured. We always keep learning. We are all lifelong learners. So I'm always following the three L's: lifelong learning, be it meeting people, or be it connecting with people, or be it connecting with candidates, connecting with stakeholders, anything. It's always lifelong learning. So that's how I will coin myself, and I'm still learning, and I still have a long way to go. So considering my experience, of starting my career, I think I was like any person who was happy go lucky, studying, playing in my little flats with my own set of people, with a very small world to my own self. And I had all the looks, so called, which is supposed to be the hero's looks, where they wanted me to be cast in a film. And some of my neighbors told me, why don't you try modeling and all that. So with whatever available pictures I had, I just floated around. And then that's when some film people came. And my neighbor happened to be Ramesh Arvind, who was also very good with movies. At that time he was doing a lot of Tamil films, I think Do It, Sati Lilavati, a lot of films. So he was pretty much familiar to all the film circuit. And that's when he recommended me, because we were staying in the same floor. He said, I have a boy who's just in his 12th 10th standard. He's got all the looks. I think you should try him, because it's a romantic role. And he recommended me. And I had a little bit of dancing skills. I didn't know anything on acting. I was a very, very novice, full of fear, lots of self-doubt, no confidence, because I didn't have any exposure. So you're as good as how much exposure you have. So that is when the journey started. Went there, they saw my average pictures, they liked me, they did a screen test. I went through the entire, process. It was all new for me. It was challenging. I had a lot of questions. They asked me to cry. I cried. I laughed. I did all those things. In the evening, I was pronounced the hero. Then I came. I was announced, and then I came back to my place. Then I announced the whole world. I was in euphoria. Distributed chocolates. Like any other young kid. You're going to get into a different world. That is when I got into. Accidentally, I became an actor. It's not like planned. I didn't go through any formal training. Then I slowly enrolled for dance classes. I went through the entire process. Then I fell sick in between. I was in typhoid. That that took away another 20 days of my life. And then I got back. And then finally, when I went to the shooting was about to start a week before, they told that there is another person who's been selected. We would like you to come to office. So I went to the office. Office was in different place initially, and then they shifted. That is where I met Ajit. First time I'm seeing him. I didn't get formally introduced. I saw a white person coming across. He was in white and white. He looked very smart, but a very lean Ajit, younger Ajit. So then he crossed me. Then I went in, and they said that he is the hero, and he was also carrying his advance money. So I understood that he's been selected. So destiny has gone to him. The relay baton has been forwarded to him, so which he rightly deserves. And today he is a big star, superstar. We are also in touch, but that is what happens. So that is when I have to accept it. Then I became a second hero. Then I became a third hero. Then I became a fourth hero. Then a lot of scenes were chopped off. I went through the entire turmoil, and being in this process, there was a lot of challenges I had as an individual. people coming and asking me why there has been a, you were announced as a hero, now you're not a hero, so you've become from a hero you've gone to a zero. All these things were thrown upon me on this thing, so I had to face all the challenges. I was on my own this thing for at least close to 6 months. I was not able to come to terms. Then slowly I got back with well wishers, with of course my friends, my family people. Then of course Ramesh Arvind also advised me that cinema is not all, so you need to move on and all that. So if one skill doesn't work, you equip yourself with other skill. That is very important today's generation also. I always say that if one doesn't work, not to worry, not to lose your hope. You still have a long way to go. So I'm the prime example sitting here. After I failed in films, I've crossed almost so many years. I positioned 8,000 plus resources across geographies. And today I am here confidently saying that if one field fails, it is not end of world. You need to have the willpower, the right people to guide you, not to, spoon feed you, just mentor you. That is what happened to me. So during the time I had the mentor, I had the right people. I finished my studies. I'm not an avid student in studies. I have not a great marks. I was very average because I'm more into people. I'm more into action. I love. I don't like sitting in one place. So that is something I hate doing. So I would love to meet people, mix, go out and all that. So I started doing modeling as a part of my urge to satisfy camera. Small roles I did when I was working itself, and then that actually kind of it was okay. It was still not great, but it was kind of satisfying. Then started getting into corporate world, and then that's been a 23 plus years journey till today. And but what else? I mean, been into hiring, still sticking to the same space, ventured into training for some time as a part of hiring, taking people, putting them on projects. So I've evolved with technology, been through this for the last 20 plus years, and managed people, traveled across the globe, been to Japan, been to China, set up teams there, Dubai. And today I am sitting here in Chennai, talking to you after all these things. And the last 2 months, 3 months, I've been very active on LinkedIn. I think earlier I used to use LinkedIn only for sourcing and all that, but my mindset changed. I started doing personal branding. I started putting my stories, which is very important for people to know. That is when all those stories started coming. How I perceive things, and people started showing interest. Then I started building network. I started going for HR events. I used to go for non-HR events before. Just before this, I used to go for a lot of non-HR events, launches, you name it. I would go there. So there I had no connection with HR, but I got to know a lot of personalities. I study personalities. That's my book. That is my MBA. So MBA padichan personalities putri. So see, then started posting. Then I became active on LinkedIn. Then that is how it is. Then I finished almost 7 8 podcasts. So this I think would be the ninth or the 10th podcast I'm doing. It's all been organic. It's been beautiful. And I think I recently went to Dubai also. I would have posted some pictures on Dubai. It's my experience after 15 years. I'm seeing a different world, different zone of Dubai altogether. I think everybody here, I recommend people to travel and see once Dubai, because it's a place of bliss, especially for New Year. The kind of you will be transported to a different world. So that's where it is till today, and I still today I continue the same journey with same energy.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the brief thing of who you are as a person. Because when we ask people about their achievements, they'll talk a lot about I achieved this, I achieved that. But here in the 5 to 10 minutes of your introduction, you have never added any abstract achievements. You have just purely handed over your experiences. You mentioned who you are as a person in different stages of life. That's really great.
Yeah, I think it's important. Just to add here, I just wanted to say that, achievements is not going to make any difference to another person. It's only our experience through which they will learn. I think that has been the strong learning for me. Whatever you achieve, it's going to be very good for the cupboards, the trophies, the goodies which we take, or the bank balance. It's not going to fetch somebody an inspiration. It's only our experience, what we go through. We need to tell the world. We need to keep telling. We need to voice out. That is important. As long as we voice out, we are going to make a difference to our ecosystem.
100%. So my next question is, with all the experiences you have gained, uh, I know how you see a world in a different stage right now. You have experienced a lot of things in different parts of the world. So the thing is, you have a lot of experience on different parts of the world, right? I am into training and development. I just want to ask question based on the training. How you see, like, what is the difference between leaders from India and what is the difference between leaders from other parts of the world?
I think one of the common traits I find, we will take America for example. Usually I relate that, and a lot of people will be able to, understand easily. The basic, the entire upbringing in you see in US is that they are very, very, very good built on communication skills. When they start their career itself, they are naturally good communicators because that is where they thrive on. And their culture is something where they don't chase things. They are not taught to chase. They are only taught to speak well. So here in India, if you see all the leaders, we are ingrained in a culture where we are asked to chase. Be it marks, be it people, be it candidates, be it job, everything we chase. So we are always on a reactive mode because we are built under a lot of fear. We don't get the confidence. Our nature is not built on confidence. It's built on these terms. So when you see leaders, most of the leaders, exceptions are there, who have actually come out of this and they are very street smart. I will not go into that zone because we already have a few leaders who are very popular in that area. But 95% or 90% of them fall in this zone. They struggle. So that is when they are not having the life skills. They don't have the independent decision making ability because they are not ingrained to do that. They always ask other people's opinion. Even if I'm a leader, if I'm managing a project, I'll have to ask 10 people for opinion whether this is good, this is not good. So when we go to other person for an opinion, that itself is a defeatist attitude where you're trying to not stick to your decision. That is why if you see exceptional leaders are the most successful ones. Ratan Tata, Rajnikant, you name these few individuals, Sehwag, Dhoni. These people are all people who stuck to their decision. They have that leadership quality inborn, where they have developed it and they've taken it to the next level. Rest all have been catching. We are always catching up. Even I am from that zone. I was told we have to fear. We are given the bread and butter of being insecure. If we do not have a job, we feel we are poor. We are this thing. It's not like that. There's always a beautiful saying, right? Money is required for you. You need only little money. Every person needs little money for spending. He doesn't need more money. But whereas our thought process is that we want more money, we have to chase things. If we do not get, so that is the basic trait I see from leaders from other worlds and here. So they are independent. Like for example, if you see Australia or even UK, like if they give a lot of emphasis on sports. If you see Australia, they will not ask how much marks you got. When they go for sports, they will say, what is that you did in the particular this thing. The kids will come back and they'll always cherish the moments. So that is what is a hallmark of a leader. They don't ask whether this kid is bad, that kid is bad. They don't gossip. They don't have time for gossip. They are always having time to showcase their results. So that is important, I see, in those leaders. That is why you have more successful leaders there compared to the India. In India, there are leaders now. They have coming up now. Things have changed. Yes, we have been exposed to many things. And second thing is also exposure. Right, before there was not much of exposure. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have podcasts. You didn't have social media. You just had a newspaper. You had theater. You had beach. Today you have channels. You have OTT. You have, so exposure has now come. So now there is a lot of awareness. So the leaders are now becoming evolved, but still they have a long way to go. We need to bring that critical thinking mindset. Whenever I hire anybody for leadership skill, I'll always look at the critical thinking. So if I have to look at the critical thinking, I would say US people and UK people or China people, any of these people will score above Indians because they are already in the independent zone. Their cognitive skills, which they get as a young person, they develop right from their childhood. So the upbringing itself is like that. Their parents always will prefer them to be independent. So I think that is one of the traits I see in there and us. Not that we are less in any of the skills, but in leadership, I think this is some major difference I've seen in China and India, having stayed there and all. Yes.
Similarly, I also get to see a video on YouTube, which has there are a lot of kids in the room, and in the table there are a lot of snakes. One side, one parent, what she is doing is she is fearing, she's getting scared whether the snake bite her children. And on the other side, the parent is very cool. She's like, okay, just go ahead, just experience on your own. There are two, like it's a experiment on parenting, let's say. But the lesson of that particular video is fear is something, uh, it's not inborn. Fear is not something we inborn with. Fear is something we cultivate with our upbringing and with our environment. So that is the moral of
Correct.
the video. And suddenly, when you discussed about the leaders who are insecure or when they are not good at their life skills, but they're very good at what they actually do, this video came to my mind as an example. And for the
No,
context,
I
I
think
just, yeah, yeah.
another thing, they are very good theoretically. Our
Mhm.
guys are very good in theory, but when it comes to the dirting their hands in terms of those skills,
Mhm.
that is why our temperament, I mean resilience, our leaders should be having good resilience skills. He should be very, he should have the, he should not be fear. He should be like Bhima. Bhima means not only strength. Bhima as a character is also somebody who sacrifices, who's got that, they say, right, you
Yes,
are a strong person,
risk-taking
not only
ability.
physically,
Yeah.
mentally also you are strong. So there should be a lot of Bhimas with us, which unfortunately we do not have. We are only having, in theory we are very good. So that's just something which we have to develop. Unfortunately, our system and our schooling is also, something where it should have started in school. So
Right.
I am
So the
also one of
ones,
those persons who've been affected. Yeah.
okay. So the one skill you want leaders to develop is the critical thinking, as you mentioned, right? So can you break
Absolutely.
it down to make it very easier for the audience to understand what is critical
So very
thinking to you?
simple, yeah. So for example, I have a five member team with me. So I have all the people are, not bad performers, but there are somebody who's, showing attitude. There are some people who are, not performing up to their expected level. So how do you digress the good performance and the bad performance? That is when your critical thinking hat will come. It's not that you go directly tell him that you're a bad performer. You need to go see his data, then validate this data, and then look at how you can build rapport with him and see how you can better his performance, rather than trying to say that you're not good and chasing him out. You need to give all those feelers to him, that you can do like this, you can improve. Like that is the hallmark of a critical thinking person. It's not like, you find somebody who's not good, you should not chase him away, you should make him improve. That is one. And then how do they face tough situations as a leader? I'm handling a very critical project. How does he handle those tough situations? If the customer is irate, how does he handle a irate customer? Or if team member is facing a problem with one of those areas where he is not able to solve it, he requires a leader's support. That is when leadership will come in. That is when his critical thinking will come in. What is the priority of the problem? Whether this is a problem is a priority or least priority. How do we channelize that? And which are the tasks the person has done? He will go through one, two, three sequentially, and in that, which is what has been completed, what has not been completed. All those things will be taken outside emotional part. No, that is what is critical thinking. What are the critical factors where I should not bring in my emotions to take a call? I need to align those critical thought process line by line, and then go by one and then solve it. And then looking at the performance, like for example, I have an annual appraisal coming in, and a lot of team members are going to be a part of that. I have to appraise them. So I need to give a fair rating. How do I give a fair rating? By looking at the past data, what is there, what kind of service the person has done, what is the rating the customer has given, or how is his interaction has been with stakeholders. For example, I'm addressing various requirements, so I need to handle multiple stakeholders. Have they given me a very positive feedback? What are the challenges? All these things will be considered in a holistic way, then they will arrive at it. So another example I would say is when there is a critical situation, one of your close friend is caught. Here, one side there are thieves, another side is family. So how will he decide what to do? Whether he will kill his immediate boss and he will save the scenario, or will he, hypothetically, I will put this question to people: when you are in such a caught up in such a very tough situation, how do you handle it? One side you have family, one side you have a boss. Will you kill your boss to save your family against those enemies, or how will you do it? The ideal answer should be there should be never such scenario. Hypothetically, that is critical thinking. It never that scenario will come. How will a boss and a family come together in the first place? So so these are all the ways we test people, and then sometimes, in hiring side, we always ask, what happens if your company retains you? 99% of the time I will say, don't go back to the company which is retaining you, because when you were there, they never realized your importance. After you going, they are trying to retain you. It doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to stay back, you will regret the decision later. Rather than that, so before even trying to bring him for an offer or for discussion, some of the things I would test is these are the areas where I will test the critical thinking.
That's great. So the important point comes here. HR is the most hated person in a corporate setting. Okay. And you know that. Why do you think so?
Well, there are several factors why HR is being hated. Unfortunately, we have to keep a very smiling face, always be motivated. So we there is no other place for us to go if we are demotivated. So we should always be motivated. Earlier, HR was an outside entity. It was not a part of strategy. It was not a part of decision making. They were always kept as an external visitors. Only when they require, they use them. It was more like a support function. But now it's not the same. It is becoming a critical part of the organization business decision strategy, where we have to be there in every part of it. Because today, if you see the entire organization, whether you are a trainer or a CEO or anybody for that matter, you need people. If you do not have people inside, there is nothing will happen there. So for that, you need recruitment, you need hiring, you need to find the right people with the right attitude to come in. So the alignment starts from the time when we start to connect with people. So when I say alignment, means whether the vision of the company and the vision of the person who's coming to the company is matching. So the mind should match. Then comes your attitude, other things. Skill will be the last thing, because already there are managers sitting there who's going to anyway evaluate the technical skill. So I don't have to do any technical skill. I will only look at the thought process. I look at the common sense. I look at whether they are aligning to it. This is one part. The second part, to answer you, why should HR, HR will always be the first person to take the blame. If the person is leaving, catch hold of HR. If the person is not joining, catch hold of HR. So everywhere, at every corner of the organization's nuances, we are the only people to be blamed, because we are the one who are easily approachable. And this is just the mindset. There is nothing much we can do, because our companies are built by keeping that as a mindset. But now things are shifting. I think it's not the same. Right now, there is a lot of difference in the way HR is functioning. It is becoming very crucial, very strategic. And I'm very happy that, I've seen the entire evolution of technology, the hiring pattern, the entire scenario has changed now. So that way I've gone through the entire process. So HR is now crucial. At the same time, it is a welcoming thing for organization. I don't think we are a hindrance to any organization. We are a very important cog in the entire wheel. That is what I will define HR as.
Great. So the thing, like for the last few years, I have been encountered is there are very underqualified HRs positioned in startups. The moment I say underqualified, in the sense they have not even studied HR as a domain in their college or schooling. They have studied something else, BCom, BA, English literature, or something else. But
I'm a BCom. I'm a BCom.
you're a BCom. That's great. But in not even having a specific skill set of a HR, he or she is
Hmm.
put in that particular role of maintaining or organizing a particular startup and involving in the people development and everything. How do you see it? Whether it's right to do that or it's wrong. If it's wrong, what part is wrong?
It is not right or wrong. It is the question of what the person's interest is. That is what I'll always see. Because for example, as a prime example of what you just said, I'm a BCom. What BCom has got nothing to do with HR. I became an accidental HR. I started loving it. I started showing a lot of passion towards hiring. So it's important that what you study is only a gateway to enter a company. What you do not study is what leadership is made of. So whatever I have not studied is what I am applying on my day to day role, which is what leadership is all about. So somebody who's, as you said, who is unqualified to be a HR, but still they are, if they are able to passionately do the job and they are aligned to the right mindset with the right set of skills. Like for example, I love talking to people, I love networking. If those people have those basic skills and they are enterprising, means they are the right HR people, they can continue. Qualification has got nothing to do with the role. As long as the role has the right kind of mindset, right attitude, you will continue to be successful. Prime example is the person who's sitting in front of you who has no connection to HR qualification. I'm neither an MBA nor a MSW. I have not read everything. Everything has been through practical experience of meeting people, and basically I love networking. I love meeting people. That passion is always there with me. I love connecting with people. So those are the key things which are required for you to be in HR. Because half the time, that too in the place where I am, I'm speaking to somebody who's on the other side of the thing. I don't even see the face. Whether he is going to be donkey, monkey, or anybody, I don't know. We don't see them. But without that, we're building trust only because of our voice, the confidence, and we are also trying to see what more. What is the biggest if you ask me what is my biggest high, I'm getting somebody a job. More than anything, it's like, you somebody going to a doctor, with a lot of hope, and he's saving somebody's life. A mother going there and child comes out, and it's all with the help of doctor and God's will. So that is the highest amount of satisfaction somebody can get, when somebody is getting giving a job for somebody. So I am lucky enough to have given 8,000 plus people jobs, and I continue to do that in the same passion, and that is the highest satisfaction I get. And I get a kick out of it every day, every minute. Even in the night, if I'm asked to do some sourcing and get people, I would happily do it, because I know that at the end of the day somebody is waiting to make sure that their family is happy. So I'm making a difference to their family, right? So that is the biggest blessing I can be. So I think it's all depends on the mindset. It has got no qualification. In fact, I would go away with qualification. I'll only look at skill and attitude, and that is what is going to be where the industry is going to move towards. So the as you rightly are doing a training, the more and more you train people and the more and more skilled people come out, I'm sure they will all be specialists in the areas which they will look at being. Maybe a good speaker, or maybe a good entrepreneur, or maybe a good HR person. But it has got nothing to do with your MBA, MSW, and all that. That is all those days. Today, it's more skill based.
Superb answer. Because I used to go to training rooms and I meet a lot of people there. They'll be coming up with their own sort of experiences. The one thing I notice in high performers is the curiosity for them to learn. Similarly, I noticed that in you, the curiosity to learn something. So my last
I think
question.
that is what.
Yeah.
That is what even this guy says, right? Perplexity CEO
CEO, yes.
Arvind
I'm
Srinivas in a recent
Srinivas.
interview with Gopinath.
Yes.
Gopinath, he said, right? People should have the skill,
Curiosity.
build the skill of curiosity. Yes, the more curious you are, you will be in relevance. நிறைய
Exactly.
கேள்வி கேட்கணும்.
Exactly. So my next question to you is, what differentiates you of being a talent leader, talent partner for a company? What differentiates you from your peers?
I don't follow the rule book. I'm not a traditional guy who goes by the conventional methods. I use my own method to madness. I don't have anything where it is taught me on school. அடிபட்டு தான் கற்றுக்கணும்னுவாங்க. So I got hit several times. Through that I learned. So my learning has always been, till today, has been through my past experiences of how I handle candidates. So my differentiator would be, I would do it with 120% passionate, and I don't belong to the working hours. I go beyond working hours. At any given point of time, I'll always look at how I can address the requirement, and I'm very passionate that I don't want the customer to be waiting, and I don't want to candidates to be waiting. So I will always value time of the customer as well as the candidate. So value for time, continuous improvement plus daily learning equals genius. So I don't know whether I'm a genius, but I consistently follow these things. That is, I value the time, I give time the time, I focus. So I focus on one thing, I digress 99%, and then daily improvement. So today I'm on this technology, tomorrow I'll be on different technology. For that, what methods I'll have to use, I'll come up with that story. So it is all that momentary story I come up with, and I say whatever story I say with the person, I have to emotionally connect. If I don't connect, I'm out of job. I'm out of job means I'm not in relevance. So as long as we are constantly evolving and in relevance, we are in business. Otherwise, I'll become another boomer. People will start getting bored. So I should not, get into that zone. So that is the only thing I keep this thing, and I'm different from others. I'm not the usual this thing.
Okay. So you recently met Irfan Pathan, right? You have
Correct.
posted a
Correct.
content out of it. Can you tell me? I have read the full post, but can you tell me,
Yeah.
apart from leadership thing, what is the one thing which you admire
No, I
from
think,
him?
yeah, I admired him when he introduced me his family. He was with his family in a shopping mall. He was just casually walking. I liked his very casual approach. I introduced him to my family. He shook hands with everybody. He was very patient. I liked his humility. And moreover, in spite of all those victories he has got, and we were being a part of millions who followed that, we had the same goosebumps as he had there. He did not even show one iota of ego when he had spoken. I only saw the human nature. I saw the beautiful smile. I spent 10 minutes with him. He spoke all 10 minutes without showing his ego. That is what I was so much happy to have admired that quality. Apart from what I have posted on LinkedIn.
So, what is riskier for a company? As you're working as a talent partner for a company, what is riskier for a company? I'll give you two choices. As you love to connect dots, right? This is a matter where
Right.
you connect dots. A high performer with low empathy, or a kind fresher with no experience?
Empathy plays a very big role.
Mm.
I will always go with empathy because most important parameter for anybody is empathy. Otherwise, we can always have AI doing it, right? Why would we debate on AI today? Because empathy, sympathy, or negotiation, all that only human can do. Machine cannot do. Machine can only do process. It cannot build relationship. So I would really look at the kind-hearted fresher than a person who's got experience with a lot of egos with no empathy. Absolutely, I will disregard them. Beat whatever. In my book, this person will be the first choice.
So, in cinema, confident is something which is performed. Confidence is performed in cinema, right? But in leadership, confidence is tested. Right? Where do you see people fail more?
See, when it comes to performance, the place where they lose out is at that particular moment. When the moment comes when they are presenting themselves in front of the customer, or when they are presenting themselves in front of the stakeholders, or when they are presenting themselves in front of the team, that moment, what they blurt out as words, whether they are kind enough, whether they are confident enough, that is where most of the people fail. That's why they say, right, in front of the camera, an actor will perform 100%. He cannot lie. If he lies, his camera will take it as an image, and it will show to the world that this man is lying. He's bullshit. He cannot act. So that is why that particular moment you have to be 100% confident and 100% good. That is why even if you see in interviews, even if you see in any places, your your judgment capability, your talent capability, everything is decided in that 5-10 minutes. What you did before, what resume comes in, what preparations you do yesterday night, you went through the entire process. Excellent. You are tensed. You are worried. You prepare for your exam. You prepare everything. But when it comes to exam, when you sit for the exam, whether you're breathing in, breathing out, whether you're confident at that moment, whether your thought process is correct at that point of time. Same way when an actor is facing the camera, whether he is confident at that point of time. Prime example is Arvind Swamy. When he entered the industry, he was 18 years. He faced the camera where he had two biggest superstars sitting in front of him. One was Rajnikant, and the one was Mammootty. In spite of them sitting there, he spoke confidently on his dialogues. So the beautiful answer he gave me when I met him was, he said, I am confident of my thing, my job given. They are confident of their job. So it doesn't mean that I'm intimidated by them. I have respect for them. So that is the clarity, and that is the self-confidence which is required for people. I did not have that clarity or confidence at that time. That time I struggled. Maybe if I would have had the same quality at that point of time, I would have been in a different this thing profession itself. I would have continued my acting. I wouldn't be in HR. So that is what is important. So that particular confidence, that point of time, people fail. That is why they are not able to deliver, or they are not able to grab the opportunity. You know, right? That Padayappa Unjal scene
Yes.
where the Rajinikanth puts the shovel and grabs it,
Yes.
because that is what you have to do. We have to grab our opportunities. If you do not grab, somebody else will come and grab it. So you'll be the loser. So always think about where you can utilize those particular scenario to pull the opportunity. If you need something, you will have to pull. People will not come and give you on a platter. We'll have to go and fight for it.
As you
That is what
rightly
is
said,
leadership all about.
yes, as you rightly said, uh, if I want to put it down into one word, I call it privilege. Let's say we have a lot of privileges in our life. I have certain privileges. You have certain privileges. Likewise, can you tell me, is do like are privileges a major reason for somebody's success? Privileges are a gateway to someone's
No, I think
success.
privileges, there are two ways to look at privileges. One is privileges will spoil you for being very comfortable. So it will not let you get out of the comfort zone. The moment you are in the comfort zone, there starts your failure. That
Mm.
is one. That will lead to ego. That will lead to laziness. Lot of these things we are very much used to, and we are all been buttered and you know cajoled by our family, because our food will always taste good for us. When it comes to other person, it might, he might not like our food, but for us, our parents, we are always going to be goody goody, and our food will always taste wonderful for us, and we keep clapping among ourselves and appreciating. That is not that is privileges which we are taking it for granted
Mm.
from the childhood. It's assumed that this thing will come to me when I'm watching TV. Food will come to me. My wife is there to take care of me, or my girlfriend is there to take care of. All these are privileges we take advantage of. But whereas if you are given a privilege, you need to utilize those privilege to enhance your skill. Okay, I have today internet connection. I can go watch a YouTube. I can go, learn something. I have power to buy. I go buy books. I read about books. I buy audio cassettes. I do audio learning. Those are all privileges which you can utilize. But we don't do that. No, we are looking at the latest movie. We are running behind Vijay's, the Ajits, the Rajnikants. Where is that? We are taking care of ourselves. We are only looking at what the other person is doing. So if we cut that privilege, automatically it will, the focus will tilt on us, and we focus on our growth and our trajectory. That is important. So privileges is both. So you can use it positively and negatively, but I've seen only people using 90% negatively. I've not seen, including me, I have also taken advantage of the privileges, and I feel, those privileges shouldn't have come to me. But these today Gen Z kids are spoiled for choices. Believe me, they have the ultimate privilege. They are in the most comfortable zone of the entire universe. Today comfort levels are way behind. When do they see sun? When do they walk out? When do they do physical exercise? Nothing. Everything is through with two fingers on a smartphone. That's all. The whole world is, within
Great.
the confines of our hand. That is how it is. So
Okay.
we'll have to make sure what privileges we have to use and how we can, make
Okay.
use
Now
of it.
that comes to my next question. What is the most appreciable privilege of your life, and what is the worst privilege of your life? Name them.
Most appreciable privilege of my life is when I failed in films and I got into HR. There cannot be a better privilege than that. அடிபடுறது ஒரு privilege தான். So get hurt, get hit, that is a privilege. So that was a privilege which helped me to sustain somewhere else and come in that. So that was the choice I had. So it's a good privilege to have, right? So that way, yes. And otherwise, like any other kid, I was also spoiled for choices. I had all the privileges. So I used that also. I used this also. Maybe if I would have used that other one, the basic privileges much better, I would have been in a much bigger position. I would have, made difference to many more lives. Maybe from now, I mean, from I'm considering this. So yeah, that's the only difference I see.
Good. So now it's time for you to ask any questions you have in mind. Anything you want to
Yeah,
discuss with this? Gen Z, or anything you want to discuss with a person
Gen
who.
Z, see, yeah. So for Gen Z, I think there is not much to actually tell. That's only where we can show the way. We can give, if required, advice. We don't have to go on voice out advice. If we go on voice out advice, we become boomers. So it's better, we show them the way. We should not pamper them much. We should not tamper with them. We should let them take 100% decisions. We should not interfere in any of the things. That is why they are called Gen Zs. They are very smart, and they know exactly what they want. Most of the time, they're very clear. I think they're much more smarter. Earlier, we used to have 300 decisions. In my time, when I started my career, we had 300 decisions we had to take in a day. Right now, it is 3,000. So where is 300? Where is 3,000? That much our human brains have evolved. So we have to think 3,000 times a day to arrive. So that is what Gen Z is at that speed they are going. So
Every
it's better,
notification is there.
don't tamper them. Leave them.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So that way, don't tamper with them much. Don't, go and advise them. They don't like advices. They're only like, if only asked, you give. Otherwise, shut your mouth and do your other work. And they can learn everything on their own. They are very, very smart. And everything is accessible, right? Today, you see the information. You want food, Swiggy. You want food, Zomato. You want to go to movie, book my show. Everything is on the click of a button, right? So everything is easy. It's become easy money, fast food. Of course, this is a danger. But only thing would be, I would request all the Gen Zs to go and physically become active. Go see the sun, say hi to sun. So get your vitamin D's up. Look at the mornings and sleep early, which is not possible. But yeah, that's the only thing I see. Them doing.
Okay. So, what is the difference you see between a smart person, as you mentioned, Gen Zs are smart? What is the difference between being smart and being overconfident? Both sound the same,
I think
right?
uh,
How
I
do you
think both
differentiate?
of the target, yeah, basically the target which is given to the overconfident person,
Mm,
he will, before the target giving itself, he will think he is achieved.
mm.
But whereas a Gen Z, if the same target is given, they will know how the smartest way is there to use their thinking process, critical thinking process to achieve that. So that is something which a Gen Z will have compared to an overconfident person. Their critical thinking is better than overconfident. So that way, they will use their brains much more to achieve the goal. Actually,
Okay. So
that's
to
what I see as
conclude,
a major.
so to
Yeah.
conclude, what is the one Kuti story you want to share? If you have any particular story you want to share here, what will be that Kuti story?
Story, every experience, when I meet personalities or when I try and talk to people, by that itself becomes a story in its own way. uh, Probably in the recent months, I had an interaction with one gentleman who has, whom I was trying to hire for the company, and he had an offer with one of the large companies. That's the story I can probably share. And
Sure.
that particular company had given 10 lakhs more than what we were offering. Okay, I don't want to name the company, but he was offered 10 lakhs more. So he was sweet enough to say that I'm not taking that company because that company treated me like paper, but whereas you are treating me like, I own it. So I would come to your company more than that company, even if it's 10 lakhs less. So that was a very touching thing. And the confidence and the trust which came out of that candidate was so beautiful. At the end of the day, I was feeling so fulfilled that this person was able to, showcase this kind of a thing without me. He doesn't know me much, but the relationship I had, the professional approach I went through, all that is very, very touching. And I think recently I had seen one very good interview of Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata is somebody there was scenario in one of the employee meetings where the person was not agreeing for some discussion, and Ratan Tata banged the phone. And usually he doesn't bang the phone. He is very soft with people. But it's so beautiful that the next minute he gets a call on the same phone from Ratan Tata, and he said, It's not that I'm angry with you or I banged it. That's not my nature. There was some other issue and the phone got cut because of that. So that is why it happened. Don't mistake me." Look at the audacity of the person with such a great height coming down to this individual and sharing this experience. So this is something which was very interesting. We learn humility, we learn how to be grounded from such people. So that is one story I heard recently from one of his employees, during the meetings. So I thought, okay, I'll share that with you.
So it's nice
So you
connecting
want
with.
to share anything? You have anything to share? I know that I find you very very interesting. You've been very active, and I can see a lot of interesting stuff you keep coming up with. Your content thing also is improving day by day, and you have separate set of audience. So I am really a fan of your content. How do you manage all these things?
So the first thing which came to my mind when I started LinkedIn 5 years ago. So when I was in college, my college
Okay.
introduced me to LinkedIn. Back then, I was a biomedical engineering student. I used to post content related to biomedical engineering, what I studied. If I go to any paper presentation, means if I won the presentation, I post certificates and everything. That was me with LinkedIn. But later on, if I want to, I just thought about it. If I want to build business with LinkedIn, considering LinkedIn as my marketing partner, what are the things I can do? Firstly, I analyzed content on competitors or from the people who are in the same industry. The one thing which I saw which is missing is the part of actual humanity or the part of actual human sense, let's say.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity, will say. Everywhere people are posting content, but it's not relatable. Relatability, relatability is something I personally value. That is what we resonate a lot, right? I can able to relate myself with your post. I can able to hear your voice while reading your post. You can also similarly hear the same.
Because everywhere it's authenticity, right?
Everywhere it is. And the words which are coming straight away from our heart and soul will definitely make an
Like,
impact with people. So that is what I'm. I have only one thing in mind when I started posting consistently on LinkedIn. The number one is I'm not going to use any tools. Any tool it will enhance my writing. No, I just don't want the tool to enhance my writing. I am who I am. I can enhance my writing by the way I written almost 1,000 posts like that. After 1,000 or 1,500 posts, let my writing enhance, but not at this point of time using any AI tool or any tool. Because nowadays, the irony is we are asking humans to work like machines. We are asking ChatGPT to give answers like humans. We are collapsing everything, right? Let human be
right.
human, let machine be machine. So this is my point of view when I write
I
things.
think, yeah, I think there's a famous saying, right? Sridhar
Mm.
Vembu had quoted in one of the events I went there. He said, "Technology is for people. People are not for technology." So when you are using your smartphone, please ensure that you switch off your smartphone after 9 p.m. So don't take it to bed, and
Yes.
make sure that you don't, continuously get too much into it because it disturbs you. See, another favorite quote I wanted to say this actually. It is shared by Shiv Shankar in IO Awards. Actually, he said there are three kinds of people: the people who are online. He says they are called fools, just being online fools. The people who are trying to become influencers are smart. People who are trying to create an impact are intelligent, or sorry, smart, intelligent, and smart. So influencers are intelligent. People who create an impact are smart. So you decide whether you want to be fool or intelligent or smart. So the choice is yours, is what he beautifully puts it.
Okay. So we want to be smart.
So I think, yeah, I think, no, I think I want to be in the third category. I don't want to be in the first category because I moved out of it. I realized it long back. I,
Mm.
I don't think I'm a part of anymore in that zone of audience. That is when I started posting my content, and I started doing. Now I've opened my Insta account also. Today only I opened it actually.
Okay. Good.
After a lot of this thing, I've finally opened the Insta account. So I want to get into the smart zone, work in progress.
Great. So even I want to be. That's the primary reason behind consistency with LinkedIn. Again, a lot of people are consistency is a word which got popular after people are posting a lot about it on LinkedIn. lot of
Today we are
people talking
talking
about
about branding.
consistency.
Today we are talking about story. Today we are talking about everything. All these things were already there before. The only thing it did not have is a name tag. Today everything has got hashtags. Everything has got prompts. And people, as you said, people who are authentic, people who are very consistent are the ones who are going to stand out for long. So I think I see a lot of consistency in your post. I see a lot of authenticity. I think you should continue in the same way. I think you are getting genuine traction and audience for every post you see. I am seeing that every day. So I think there is a lot of things, and your 5 years of your exercise I think is proving to be a game changer now, actually. Now you need to get into the voice. You need to elevate yourself to the next authenticity, so that people can come closer to you. It could be in any platform. It could be Insta, it could be story which you share, 1 minute story, or anything which you feel you can bring about. I think that is where you we will go into the elevate into the next level. Yes.
That's great. I'll definitely take that suggestion, and I'll keep on working on it. As it's my first podcast, it's very special for me. I don't think I did completely in a great or perfect way, but still I've given my best. Let's see how
No,
it
there is
goes.
not. Yeah, but I don't think there is anything called as the right or the wrong. As long as we are in the right zone, that's what matters. It's all an experience. Whether we did it perfect, nobody gets everything right in the first time. We all have different phobias. Some people have camera phobia. Some people have stage phobia. Some people cannot speak when they come on front of camera. Some people are not fluent. They want script every time. Everything should be scripted. For me, I don't believe in script. I believe in spontaneity. I believe what is there, I speak. If I don't remember some story, maybe later I'll recollect and say, "Oh, I should have told this." That's how it is.
I
I
also
think,
a true
yeah, you're
believer
doing
of
well.
spontaneity. That is how we resonate. So a big five five from my end of being very
I,
spontaneous. So the last question to you is, what is the one solid recommendation for anybody who is watching this podcast to succeed in life?
have a lot of passion, have a lot of hunger, passion like Priyadarshini and hunger like Priyadarshini, to do various things. Always keep the learning part going. That is the only way you can reach success. Success is not confined to money. Success is not confined to the cupboards. Success is not confined to the trophies. It's a continuous learning. All your youngsters, keep the hunger going. Be curious. Keep learning. Keep questioning. Watch a lot of podcasts. Read a lot of books. I know that there are many people who don't read books. At least watch podcasts. Don't spend time much on reels, because it's not going to fetch you anything. Be on the progressive zone, then the zone where you're consuming. If you're in the more in the consuming zone, you will spend money. If you're in the progressive zone, you will save money. Spend little, learn more. That's the thing.
Super. Thank you very much for joining today, sir. Thank you.
Thank